Hiya, darlings! This is Hololive English-Advent-'s Devilish Diva, the one and only Nerissa Ravencroft. Hello. It is I. How is the BGM? Is it too loud? Is it a good volume? Let me know before I get too started. It's just right? Okay. I saw it's just right. I saw perfect. Sounds good to me. I'm gonna trust all of you. Anyone else who says anything else is lying. Well, hello. What are we here to do today? Talk about Blue World. Hey, wait. Now I can turn off the monitor, 'cause it'll distract me. I'll just want to sing. Monitor off. Okay. So, Blue World is a song I've been working on since mid last year. I want to say it was started in the late spring, very early summer-ish. Maybe even a little bit earlier, to be honest. Blue World was... I knew I wanted to work with Shoji Meguro-san, because I'm a huge fan of specifically Persona 5, but Persona in general. And I really wanted a song that sounded more like, rather than being like an opening, ending theme, or like a fight theme, like a battle theme, because I thought about all of those too. So I was like, you know what I really, really want? What I really want is one that's more like my personal favorite Persona song, which is, of course, The Velvet Room. Is, of course, Beneath the Mask. It's just such a good song. So, it just really stirs something inside of you, you know? So, I knew I wanted that. But I was like, first, Shoji Meguro-san has to say yes, because at this point, he had worked with Callie. But, you know, Callie is Callie. It doesn't matter who you are. If Callie asks you to make a song, you're gonna say yes. But I'm like, I'm just Nerissa Ravencroft. Maybe he won't be interested. Maybe he will, but, you know, my own personal nervousness. But I asked anyway. I was like, you know... excuse me. Worst that can be said is no. So, if he says no, that's okay. But maybe he'll say yes, so I should ask. So we did. We sent in the request. And thankfully he said yes. He seemed like he was really excited too, so that made me more excited. So then, as most of these usually start, when we're working with a new composer, or just a composer in general, what we always do... Oops. Sorry, I dropped my fidget toy. We always get in a, little, Zoom meeting with them to, go over our expectations, what we want for the song, talk about the deadlines, when they'll be able to deliver, so on and so forth, what exactly is going to be handled by who. And so that was really fun, because I'm really nervous, because I'm like, yo... I'm in a meeting with Shoji Meguro. Shoji Meguro-san, that's crazy. Oh, you pick up my fidget toy. Where did it go? Okay, I got it. It's my lyre tuner. So we got to have a meeting, and we got to discuss with Shoji Meguro what song we wanted, and I was a bit nervous because when I'm working with larger producers, generally it's because I love what they make, right? So usually I'm like, the most important thing is I want you to have fun writing this song for me. So I will give you a vague outline of what I want, and then I want you to write pretty much whatever you want. I want you to listen to my voice. I want you to listen to my work. and I want you to write a song for me that you think would sound best with my voice and that makes you feel most passionate to write it. So it was very similar with Yoshisu, who did Oyomeholic 2, where I was basically like, yep, go crazy. I want one of your typical Dempa songs. I want you to go crazy with it. So yeah, I pretty much just like, here's my idea. I want something more in line with Beneath the Mask. And go crazy. do whatever you like with it. I was shy? Of course I was shy. Imagine you're in a room with one of the most legendary composers of all time in your mind. And he's gonna write a song for you. How do you even react to that? How am I supposed to react? You're put in a room with someone you really, really, really... Look, actually, I can compare this. I meet you guys all the time at Holo Meet. And some of you come into that room and you're very confident. But you know what? A lot of you come into that room and you're really shy. And it's really, really cute for me. I love it. I love it when I get a shy fan and they're like nervous. I'm like, oh my god. They're so cute. But you guys can't be like, just be confident. No! You guys also can't just be confident. So if you're going to tell me that, you have to take your own advice. Though I do admire your cuteness, so this is not me asking any of you to change if you're shy. Because I love it! Oh my god! Oh, I love meeting fans. Anyway, it's beside the point. I was nervous, but I'm really good at hiding my nerves. So I just like put on like my professional. I was like, okay, you gotta be a business lady. You've got to be a boss business lady today. Also, in case any of you for some reason haven't heard Blue World, it is currently pinned in the chat. Be sure to go check it out. But yeah, I mean business, so I need to always let them know that I mean business and I'm serious, you know? So, it was a really nice meeting though. He was so relaxed and it was so comfortable, you know? Such a comfortable environment. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. And then it came into, we finished up the meeting. Again, I gave him basically, this is what I want. Just do whatever else you want outside of this. No need to ask or anything. Just have fun with it. And it went from there. So at the next point, we needed to wait until we got the song. So basically, there's not anything I can do. I can't write lyrics because I want Shoji Meguro-san to write the top line, meaning I'm going... That's like the melody. So like the do 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 do. That's the top line melody. So I was like, okay, I must wait. So we waited, and then I think it was like a month or 2 months. It was pretty quick, all things considered. We got the first draft of the song. And I was like, oh my god, it sounds so good. I love it. Oh my god. Also, thank you for 869 subscribers. 985, 869,000 subscribers. I read that number wrong. I can't read. Ooh, anyway, sorry. Distracted by the funny number. Please subscribe! We're working towards 1 million! Currently, we're only 200, less than 200 away from our next subscriber goal of 986,000. We're getting close to 986.7. Anyway. So, back, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Back on business. So we got the first song reference about 2 or so months later. It might have been a little bit quicker than that. And again, it was really quick, all things considered. So I was really excited. I listened to the song. I was love at first listen. And it wasn't quite finished yet, I believe. So we basically approved, because usually how it goes when you're working with composers, instead of doing the whole song and then sending it to you, they'll send you a portion of the song like through the first chorus, and then you can be like, yes, this is the right direction, or you can be like, no, this isn't what I'm thinking at all, and then give them a different idea. So I basically, but I loved it on first listen, so I was like, yep, go ahead, finish the song. That's usually how I always am. I'm pretty chill. But it was great. Just the first listen already, it was fantastic. So went ahead, sent back my feedback, which was finish the song, it's wonderful. And we did just that. Well, he did just that. And then I got the next one, and at that point when I got the full demo is when I started writing lyrics. And we were still figuring out some stuff with the instrumental at this point. So he didn't send like the final draft, but he sent the second draft, which is the full quote unquote song. So it had the final top line, so I went ahead and I started writing the lyrics. And I'll talk a little bit more about the lyrics, but for now I'm talking about the song itself, so I'm going to skip over it for now. But don't let me forget. I'm sure I won't, but... So, then, we had to have a talk. Because one of the things with Blue World was... I knew it was going to be a sad song, so we needed to discuss whether we were going to add it on a major resolve or the minor. So as you listen to it now, the point where this would have been is a bring color to this blue world in the last chorus. And originally we had that ending. He sent two versions right off the cuff. One was the major and like kind of positive ending, and then one was the one that ended up being the final. And I listened to both, and I mentioned this before, I don't like things to be hopeless if I'm writing lyrics. So I didn't want the song to feel hopeless. However, I felt like this is a little bit different from the songs I usually write. Like even in my feelings, I felt like it had quite a bit of a different feeling to it. So at the same time, I didn't want it to end too hopeful, because that's not really what the song's about. The song isn't about instantly getting better. It's about working towards getting better. So I after mulling it over quite a lot, I decided that the best one was going to be keeping the minor kind of more sad resolve that keeps it having this very sad feeling musically up to the end, and leave the slight hopeful parts to the lyrics. So that was kind of how the song production went. And then after that, we went and we finished up the song. Shoji Meguro sent us the final, like instrumental and stems and everything. And then we decided that's not enough. We've got to do more. This song is so awesome. So let's go ahead and get live instruments. So I'll have credits at the end, but like a lot of the strings were played live. I got to see a recording. I didn't get to go to the recording, sadly, but it was crazy to watch. And then that's when I found out. I thought they were just recording to the instrumental. So when I had written the lyrics, I had recorded in one single take a very just shitty flow example of how the lyrics are supposed to go. Someone timed and tuned those vocals and put them with the instrumental. So all these people are hearing my shitty vocals that I did in one take and using them to record too. Oh, I was so embarrassed. When I saw the video recording, I was like, oh my god, I get to see them work. And then suddenly I hear, and I was like, why are there vocals? Ooh, why are there my vocals? Oh no! My goodness. Yeah, I was really embarrassed. So every time I had to listen to anything with that song, it got sent back to me with these vocals, and I was like, no. But the instrumental itself was able to sound so just fantastic because we made the decision to put in these extra to go the extra mile, so to say, and get a lot of live instruments. So Rich Domings, thank you very much for the pinky. The arrangement is fantastic. I really appreciate the tasteful work of the bass player. Perfect blend of backing the band foundationally as well as call/response to vocal melody. Really lends to the style of the music. It did! Like, it really, like the song, as Shoji Meguro created it with the regular, like, what is it called? Synthesized instruments? It also sounded fantastic. I probably have it sitting around, but I don't think I can show it to you guys. I don't know where it is. But like it already sounded really, really good. So then, but adding in those live instruments then just completely elevated it. And I was like, we have to. How often are you going to get a song? You know, am I going to get a song written by legendary composer Shoji Meguro? I need to go the extra mile. And that would come into play with the music video, but we won't talk about that yet. So, next up was recording. Or I guess since that's all with kind of song production for now. Let me go back and I'll talk about the lyrics and I'll talk about recording a bit later. So, let me move myself over here for a second. I'm going to be right here so we can all read the lyrics together. So, as you know, for Blue World, I wrote the lyrics myself, as I usually like to do. I don't always do it for all of my songs, but I do like to write my own lyrics as much as possible, just because I feel like it really makes the song have more of a special connection to me personally. As a song that I'm going to be singing, and I'm not always maybe the best person for the job, I'll acknowledge. However, I love writing lyrics. I love writing my own lyrics. And however, I was in the state of, but this is a song by Shoji Meguro. So I did debate a bit in my head. I was like, maybe it would actually be better if I didn't do the lyrics, because I might not be able to bring the necessary emotion the song deserves, because it's by Shoji Meguro. But I decided ultimately, no, I really want to write the lyrics myself. So even if it's not 100% perfect, I still want a song that is more emotional to be written by me. They probably could have been better, but I put my best into it. So I'll go through and we'll read the lyrics together and I'll talk about them a bit. And I haven't really thought about them since I wrote them, like, deeply, because I had to numb myself to them, because they were really, really personal to me, that especially when I'd get to the choruses, the second and last chorus especially, I would have a really hard time not breaking down into tears and crying while trying to sing. And it took a lot of just like having to put in emotional blockage, because otherwise I can't sing Blue World, because it's too difficult for me. So I haven't really thought too deeply about the lyrics since I had to record them, because I remember it was literally the day before I had to go into the recording. I was practicing and I was still like tearing up and like not able to like make it through all the way. So lo and behold, I was just like, don't think about it. So it starts out with the verse 1, walking an empty road, nowhere for me to go, lost and lonely, yeah, it's only me, burnt out like candlelight, left blazing through the night, melting slowly until nothing else is left of me. And technically, I want to quick say here, the way that I like to separate my lyrics is this could actually be 2 separate stanzas of 4 lines, but instead it's only 1 stanza. But technically it should be separated without the, like you see where there's all the little commas, that should actually be a whole different line. So it should actually be walking an empty road, no comma, new line, nowhere for me to go, lost and lonely, no comma, new line, yeah, it's only me, stanza 1, burnt out like candlelight, no comma, new line, left blazing through the night, melting slowly, new line, until nothing else is left of me. But I prefer my, like, thing to be longer for some reason. So I always tend to write lyrics like this, and then I never go in and, like, fix them before the official release. So then the lyrics get posted. The lyrics get posted like this. So my apologies, because people are going to be like, none of the lines rhyme. Go me, night me. What is that? A, B, C, B rhyme scheme. But really it's road, go, partial rhyme. Lonely, me, rhyme. Light, night, rhyme. Slowly, me, you know. Rhyming is not optional. Rhyming is not optional. But, anyways, not talking about my silly distribution method. Walking an empty road, nowhere for me to go, lost and lonely, yeah, it's only me. It kind of just encapsulates an internal feeling rather than actually an outward feeling. When the lonely road is, or rather an empty road, is how you feel like you're all alone. And like there's not really anywhere for you to turn. So like obviously in real life, like I could call a friend and stuff, but sometimes there's that mental blockage. You feel like there's nowhere or no one for you to turn to when you're feeling lost and lonely, you know, and you just kind of feel like there's no option but to continue being on this empty road by yourself. Burnt out like candlelight, left blazing through the night, melting slowly until nothing else is left of me. And this kind of swaps over a little bit to the work side of it. Burnt out, obviously, is usually a phrase that refers to being burnt out, you know? And then comparing to a candle that is just kind of left burning, but the more you burn a candle, like obviously they're limited, they have limited capacity, they can only burn so much. So eventually, if you just keep burning a candle, then it's going to cease to exist. So that's kind of, it's metaphorical, but it's also very literal. You can kind of have the image of the candle melting until all the wax is gone, and then the candle just, you know, itself disappears. And that's kind of the feeling that is being portrayed there. This is very much about work, overwork, either self-imposed or otherwise, and just kind of losing hold of that. Feeling like you're losing the ability to kind of create these things that you are so passionate, we're so passionate about. But another thing you could take from this is that it's really important to take breaks. Because if you just keep going, if you just keep trying to push through, eventually you're going to burn out. So then we'll go into the first chorus. Colored in shades of gray, watching the days pass in front of me, longing to find a way I can fly away. I'm drifting through this blue, blue world. So I remember I had to explain this to Mane-chan at first because she was like, here you say colored in shades of gray, but then it says blue world, so it's kind of contradictory. And I was like, no, the world is blue. And what is colored in shades of gray is you, myself. And obviously it's not necessary to say I'm colored in shades of gray. So I could have said, I'm colored in shades of gray, but it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to include. Not completely useless, but unnecessary. So, and I was like, don't worry. Once we have the video especially, it'll be really, really clear. It'll be really, really clear what is being referred to. Yeah, we have colored in shades of gray, watching the days pass in front of me, which I pronounced it as May to rhyme with gray. Watching the days pass in front of me, and then longing to find a way I can fly away. Now, this is kind of about the desire to escape, from not just your depression, because, colored in shades of gray, watching the days pass in front of me, it's kind of like that stuck feeling, going back to the previous lines of verse 1, being burnt out, feeling stuck, feeling like there's nothing you can do, feeling depressed, and just time is passing and there's like nothing you can do, but you want to fly away. You want to get away from it all. But you're just drifting. You're just drifting through, and there's nothing you can do. Oh, look, I rhymed. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. I'm so sorry. I'm so lame. So yeah, it's kind of about that feeling. And I mentioned this, but one of the images I actually had in my hand, because I was writing it, in my head, regarding the watching the days pass in front of me, watching the years pass in front of me, watching my life pass in front of me, was very much the physical image that came to head in my mind, to add some brevity, was the depression scene from New Moon, where Bella is just sitting in her room and the camera's just kind of spinning around and we see time passing, but she is just like unmoving, same expression, just looking really unhappy. And that was very much like, I love that scene because I genuinely feel like it's one of the best shot themes in all of Twilight. It perfectly encapsulates the feeling of depression. Perfectly. That I was like, dang, that hits a little too hard. That hits a little too hard. It's just a phenomenally well filmed scene. And so when I was writing these lines that I knew I wanted to be kind of repetitive within the chorus, I was like, okay, well, I want that repetitiveness. I want them to kind of reference, but I want them to become greater each time. So that's why watching the days, watching the years, watching my life. Because I really wanted it to go from, showing how this incredibly heavy, dark feeling can kind of encapsulate and kind of take over and kind of take away our control in a way, and make us just feel really stuck and like we can't do anything. So yes, that's the first chorus. Then verse 2, it's always been clear to me how cruel the world can be. My shadow's the only one beside me. No love to call my own, no notice on my phone. Sunken silence has engulfed the very life I lead. So, first two lines, again, we'll do, because technically this should be 4 stanzas, but it's 1. Or this should be 2 stanzas, but it's 1. So, the first 2 lines, it's always been clear to me how cruel the world can be. This is very much life experience, I guess. It's, sometimes it's hard to be able to find hope in a world where so many bad things happen to people that you love, to yourself, to even people you might not like. You know, there's just so much cruelty. You know, you open up the wide web and the first thing you see is news about horrible things, about sad things, about, you know, people having terrible things happen to them, and it just makes you kind of lose hope, you know, of things being able to change, you know, because you just see, you know, this world that seems to not, which obviously this isn't true, but feels like it doesn't have any kindness to give back. So even when you feel like you have a lot of kindness to give the world, at the same time, every time you look out into it, it seems like it's this very horrible place. To be honest. And then the next line, my shadow's the only one beside me. You know? Again, and the next two lines will actually kind of come together with this as well. This is a slight reference, for one. My shadow's only one that walks beside me. I wanted something that was kind of similar. You knew it? You knew it! Yeah, my shadow's the only one beside me. It's a slight reference, but it's also because that line does, I feel like it's really relatable, when you're feeling so lonesome that, like, you feel like you look around and you're just kind of alone. But you've always got your shadow. But sometimes all you've got is your shadow, and it's not really a good feeling. Then the next line, no love to call my own, no notice on my phone, is again, it's just kind of continuing that pervasive. Is pervasive the right word? Loneliness. Let me look up pervasive real quick. What does pervasive mean? Wait. I want to make sure I'm using the word correctly. Fine. Pervasive. Something typically an influence, feeling, or substance that spreads throughout all parts. Yeah. Okay. I was correct. It works here. Look, pervasive is kind of a big word. Pervasive is kind of a big word. Do you know what it means off the top of your head? I'm sure at least 30% of you do, but I'm sure there's a large percentage of you that don't know. So you have to be nice to me. Nope. Yep. See, a lot of you saying yeah. First time hearing it. Some of you don't know. See, no idea. No, I need a dictionary. Nope, just a feeling. See? But yeah, it's about that very pervasive kind of loneliness. So no love to call my own, no notice on my phone. You know, when you don't have a romantic partner, you don't feel like you have friends. And especially these days, I'm lonesome so much because I'm in a foreign country where I have some friends, but I don't have like that many outside of work. Or I'd say I don't have any outside of work. And then my family's so far away. You know, I'm single, so it's like that also contributes. So it's kind of like, you know, the feeling of that loneliness just kind of spreads out because, you know, there's not really anywhere to turn, and it feels like there's not really anyone to talk to, you know. And when, you know, as humans, I think there's a part of us that wants to feel wanted by the people that we do care about, you know, because I have a lot of people I do care about. But then, you know, seeing that it feels like, I'm not saying this is true, but it feels like when you go that, you know, you're never the one who's reached out to first, you know, it feels like no one really puts in an effort to kind of want to be around you. So you have a lot of people you really like, but then you feel alone, and it feels like there's no one who wants to put that same effort that you would be willing to put into a friendship or relationship with, but with you. Was kind of, it's a very loaded, it's a very hurtful feeling. And it's one I still experience a lot, you know, so, and it feels, you know, very, you know, like being like, oh, I've got no notice on my phone, you know, like, it's something that could be like a positive, like, oh yeah, thank goodness, but like really it's not, you know, you wish that wasn't the case, you know, you wish that there would be someone who would want to be in your DMs, I guess. So that's very much what that line's along is or about, is just that, again, that very, again, just ever expanding lonesome feeling. And sunken silence has engulfed the very life I lead, which is again just kind of going continuing. It's just when there's nothing, and when you feel so lonesome, and you feel also too anxious to really do anything about it as well, but also you feel like you've tried, so you've kind of given up because you're kind of tired of trying, and now it's just kind of all you're surrounded by is just nothing. There's no sounds of people talking. There's nothing but silence surrounding you. And it's just, again, all encompassing. Your whole life just feels void of noise, of sound, of people, of everything. So you're just lonesome. Then we get into the next chorus, chorus 2, colored in shades of gray, watching the years pass in front of me. Memories I wish would stay always fade away. I'm lonely in this blue, blue world. Of course, the lines don't change much. It's the same. I'm colored in shades of gray, watching the years pass in front of me. It's now, again, the intensity has gone up from days to years, because it's about being stuck in that rut. You know, time is still passing, but you're just not able to get out of it. You still feel gray. Even though it's been years, you can't seem to shake it, to get off of it, to get out of it, rather. And then memories I wish would stay always fade away. I think it was only one person I really saw talk about and be like, that's interesting, because usually you'd say the opposite, that you want that people feel like bad memories don't go away and you want them to, but this is saying the opposite. But I feel like that's always how life is, isn't it? You know, we have these really wonderful memories, but sometimes it feels hard to hold on to them and not kind of fixate on the negative. There's really good things that happen in our lives. We have these wonderful experiences with family, with friends, and otherwise, but if they feel so few and far out, or they sorry, it's difficult for me to talk about, so I'm stumbling over my words a lot because I'm nervous. They feel really hard to hold on to because they are so few and far between that you just end up only being able to focus on what feels like the majority, which is the above 2 lines. So you want to focus on these wonderful memories you have, that you've made, and you want to hold on to them. You want them to be the majority, but they're just not, that you can't. They just fade away, even though you really wish they wouldn't. And you're left to focus on the loneliness. And that's why it comes back to, I'm lonely in this blue, blue world. And there's a way this kind of does tie back with work stuff as well. You know, in a creative career, you have to pour so much love and energy and time. But then, by the time something comes out, you've put so much effort and love into it that when most people, and this is just how the internet is, but most people, the reality is they're going to listen to it once and then move on. Or, people might be really excited about it for a day or for a week. But then, again, they're going to move on and move on to other new exciting things. So even though you can put so much love and time and effort into this thing and be so excited to be able to share it with the people around you, it's like the moment passes really, really, really fast. And then suddenly it's like you are just alone again. And then, the thing that you were so excited for, that you put so much effort into, feels like it lost its meaning. Because ultimately it boils down to, once the content cycle has passed, nobody cares, People get bored again. People want to move on. Yuna did, we'll get to the music video, but Yuna did such an incredible job showing that in the music video. You can kind of see Nerissa bracing for the impact. She's seeing this thing she put all this effort into, but soon enough, all the people in the theater, at first they're really excited, but you can kind of see the people gradually stop coming, as well as becoming bored. And, it's yet, you as a creator of that thing is still sitting there watching, being like, what was it all for? Kind of a feeling. Why did I bother? Why did I do all of this when it meant a lot to me, but when ultimately, you want to share that thing that you were passionate about. It's kind of like something else I can relate it to is showing a movie you really love to your friends and you're so excited. Let's say this is your favorite movie of all time. You've seen it countless times. It means so much to you. And you finally convince your friends to watch it with you. And the whole time you look over at them, they're on their phone. They're not really watching it, or they fall asleep. And there's not really a good, it's not like they've been exhausted for days, they just kind of fall asleep, because they're bored. But they're not really paying attention. So you can tell they're, one, not really giving it a chance in the first place. But then they're just disinterested. And no amount of passion that you might have from your side can get them to change kind of their own perspective on it. So you just kind of end up feeling empty. It just kind of ends up creating almost a sour memory with something that you were so passionate about, because you think about it and you remember this time when you were so passionate to show this person who means a lot to you something that means a lot to you, and then they couldn't even be bothered to give it the time of day, or very quickly lost interest. And obviously not everything is for everyone, but that was kind of another thought. And anyways, it comes back to I'm lonely in this blue world. So again, that feeling of just being alone, very self-explanatory in that sense. And then the next lyric we get to is the bridge. And the lyrics, again, this is where I wanted to try and start to give it a tone. There's the instrumental break that is extremely well written, and just the way that the instrumental break itself is written tugs at my heart. So the bridge, I wanted to kind of have that happy turning point to show, even though we might feel these feelings, it's not that we want to. It's not that it's all there is to us. We want to feel not that way. So the lyrics go, though my heart is torn and my weary wings are worn, just tonight, can't I dream of a better life with happiness in sight? And of course, though my heart is torn and my weary wings are worn, you know, it is from the effort, you know, again, all the things that I've talked about now kind of surmounting in just the heartbreak that you experience through all of these different things. People not seeming to care about you no matter how hard you seem to try. People not seeming to care about the things you care about or put effort into, and just feeling like you're alone in the world. You know, it really is just like so many, in a way, heartbreaks after heartbreaks. And my weary wings are worn. The representation of wings, you know, is like freedom and like so on and so forth, right? So in this sense, obviously I have wings, so that's why. But trying to constantly escape, trying to use your wings to fly away, but you've tried so much and failed that your wings, your efforts have left you exhausted. And then just tonight, can't I dream of a better life? You know, I feel like all of us kind of have that feeling where we're like, if I just woke up tomorrow and I was someone else, things would be better. Or like you don't really dream anymore. Or, you know, when you do dream, it's a nightmare or it's a really stressful kind of dream. And wanting to just kind of, at the very least, if you can't, sorry. If you can't get away from it in everyday life, the desire to, at least when you're dreaming, to be able to find a reprieve. Let's move on from the bridge. This shit's too sad. I can't do it, man. And then the last chorus. Colored in shades of gray, watching my life pass in front of me. Maybe it's not too late. If I can't escape, I'll have to make my own way. Colored in shades of gray, palette in hand, I can make a change. I'll try to find the strength. Take a breath and paint. Bring color to this blue, blue world. And of course we have again the first two lines, which again are a callback to the previous chorus. Nothing has changed. She's still colored in shades of gray. And now instead of just watching the years, watching the days, she feels like she's watching her life pass and trying to find a positive. Maybe it's not too late. If I can't escape, then I'll have to make my own way. Trying to, again, not give up, even though things seem hopeless. And trying to continue to find different trying to find a different way. Maybe there's something you haven't tried. Maybe you just need to try again, you know? Maybe you just need to keep trying. And maybe things will be able to change. Is what that you know, if there's no escape, then you'll just have to keep going and find your own way to survive through it. And then the next lines, colored in shades of gray, again a callback. The protagonist still has not changed. She is still gray. Palette in hand, I can make a change. I'll try to find the strength. Take a breath and paint. Bring color to this blue, blue world. Palette in hand, I can make a change. Take a breath and paint. Bring color. This is just coming back to the fact that obviously it's only 3 colors, or 2 colors technically, gray and blue are referenced. But, you know, there are many more colors than gray and blue. So wanting to try and at least maybe bring some joy to others. Because you, again, one of the things in this lyrics is still colored in shades of gray. That hasn't changed. But she wants to turn the world that she sees as blue more colorful. So rather than just for herself, it's also hoping to bring color for other people who might feel similarly, which is one of the reasons even after I wrote the lyrics, I was like, maybe these are too much. Maybe these are too much. Maybe this is too personal to be. Maybe I shouldn't release this. But yeah, palette in hand, I can make a change, but I'll try to find the strength. And then the word that's not included would be here is to take a breath and paint. But it's one of those that, again, it's a word that goes without saying. So I'll try to find the strength to take a breath and paint. To bring color to this blue, blue world. You want to change things. You're going to try. You might need to give yourself a moment to calm down yourself. But you're going to keep trying to bring color. But the world is still blue. And you are still gray. But you're going to try anyway. Because that's all you can do when you're feeling blue. You know? So, there's my lyrical breakdown. Sorry for crying. I told you guys it's a hard song for me if I think about it too much. Because it's about a lot of things for me personally, you know, breaking down the lyrics, but it's a lot about my life, not just in the past, but even now, and then both in regards to my career, but also in regards to my personal life. So it's very personal. And it makes me very sad. But now let's go over, and I might have to move this to the top above my sub count, which, by the way, guys, we are only 90-ish subscribers away from our next subscriber goal of 986,000 subscribers. So if you're not already, you just heard me cry on my stream, so the least you could do is hit that subscribe button. Even if you think you're already subscribed, please do double check. You might not actually be, or YouTube might have unsubscribed you. So please check and please do subscribe, and help us reach our goal of, I'm trying to reach 1 million before my birthday, which is in November. So we've gotta truck along. Okay, but let me go ahead and Yuna, who created the amazing MV for Blue World, was so kind as to put together a slideshow talking about things for the MV. There are some things that I might not be able to explain 100% because I will say, me and her talked pretty in depth about kind of like my ideas and what the song was about. But But I also wanted to, I like to make sure, again, same with Shoji Meguro, I like to make sure that there's enough creative freedom that the creator can also still have fun with it. But basically, we talked about it quite a bit, and I feel bad. I told Yuna and Miu, oh, it's gonna be really easy. In my head, I was just imagining like a looping walk cycle animation that was pretty fluid for the verses. And then for the verses, I didn't want to have anything like unique. It was just going to be that and like lyrics on the screen. But of course, Yuna and Miu, they're like, they heard the song and they're like, what are you talking about, Nerissa Ravencroft? They didn't say that, but I'm sure they thought it. They're like, you just want to give this a walking loop of during the verses? Are you crazy? They went above and beyond to create something I couldn't have even imagined in my wildest dreams. So let's go ahead and I will show you the slideshow that Yuna has prepared. So the making of the Blue World MV, original song by Nerissa Ravencroft, and MV by Yuna and Miu. And this slideshow, I'm not going to have myself on the screen just because I want to show you guys the slides, you know? So you're just going to have to watch them and not me. So first off, let's go ahead and give them their flowers. The MV is incredible and it would not exist without Yuna and Miu. As you can see here, Yuna at Yunari on Twitter did the research, story development, character designs, illustrations, animation, editing, and composition. And it's also written in Japanese too, so please also, if Nihonjin wa, please follow along. And Miu did the planning, story development, art direction, illustration, animation, and was a scene director and a supervision. Did scene direction and a supervision. Sorry, I can't read. So definitely go follow them. They also made Oyomeholic and Say My Name, my very first debut MV, if you remember. They were responsible for all three of those MVs. I love working with them. They are incredible. If you don't follow them, you will be sad. So the simple production timeline that they went through was their first time listening to the song. I sent it to them. I told them it would be easy. And then we DM'd a bit. They were asking me for insight on the meaning of the lyrics. So I really broke down, just like I did for you guys, but in written form, what the song was about, what it meant to me, kind of my feelings while making it to help give them a feeling, to help inspire them. And then they researched visual ideas, themes, references, developed the main concept and story, roughly, and then sent it over to me. Not yet. Designed the characters and created the rough storyboard, and then they sent that over to me. And then I went over what they had created in the storyboard, as well as the character designs, and we went from there. After that, they received my feedback, so I basically was like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, which I never dislike anything they do, so I don't think I had anything I disliked. Then the next priority was the song release. As you guys know, I actually really wanted to release the MV and the song together, but I had agreed to perform the song with Callie for her birthday live, and obviously that cannot be rescheduled. And it was difficult to change the song because Callie not only had to learn the song, but the band had to learn the song. So if we would have changed it, it would have created quite a few problems for everyone. So, but I really wanted people to hear the song first, my version of the song, before hearing me and Callie sing it together. So I couldn't push back the release to match with the MV, but I also didn't want to rush Yuna and Miu to make something that wasn't within their vision that they wanted to create. So it's just how it is. But what we definitely needed in order to release the song was the CD jacket. So after we gave feedback, we had them create the CD jacket. We went ahead, she gave us so many options. We picked our favorite, and then we sent it up for uploading. And then they started drawing and editing the video. And a lot of times, or at least with Oyomeholic, I think pretty much all of the illustrations were mostly done first, and then the video editing was done, I think. And then, but for this one, it was kind of different, I think. To make sure that they didn't have to go back and like brush anything up, they were doing the editing and video simultaneously to make sure that everything was perfect and done, and then they could just fully move on to the next scenes. But it was so like, oh my gosh, every time I got like a new draft of the MV, and then it would just be like, it would end, I'd be like, no. I was like, no, I need more. But it was insane. Oh my gosh, every new draft I got was just so incredible. So incredible. So they continued research to better reflect and match the emotions of the song. So they say they became depressed for research and introspection. I'm sorry, Yuna and Miyu. Oh, I feel it though. And then observed Nerissa and the jailbirds more and more. So it looks like they were watching you and keeping things that you do in mind while making the video too. And then they had a realization. They have a lot more written for the Japanese than they do for the they have realization written in English, but the Japanese, atarashi kanji ga aru. They're hiding something from me that only JP bros will understand. Yeah, they're watching you. And then added new scenes and changed the ending. And I think in the original draft that we got, the ending was a bit different. It was going to show the world kind of having a bit more color, kind of like flooding in, so to say. But just like a little bit. Like, it was still going to be pretty blue and gray and saturated, but like with those colors, but like just to have the littlest bit. But then it changed to have just the little bit of purple be added in while both Nerissa and her anima were falling. So I really loved how she changed it. Honestly, I thought it was fantastic. And then finished drawing and editing the MV. And of course, that's what you guys ended up seeing. So their inspiration and references included my life, which again, I had to tell them about my feelings in depth. That was scary. And the movie inspirations, they went with Where Perfect Blue and Paprika, which, as you guys know, Satoshi Kon is one of my favorite ever directors. So I was absolutely just in love with so many of Satoshi Kon's movies. Excuse me. So yeah, definitely. It makes sense that Yuna was so kind as to choose some of my favorite Satoshi Kon movies to reference. And then Kokuho, Black Swan, and The Red Shoes. As we know, Black Swan is also just based on Perfect Blue. So, then games-wise, it was Persona 3, which I haven't played Persona 3. I'm sorry, I saw a lot of people saying stuff about Persona 3, and so but I was like, oh no, I've only played Persona 5. I'm gonna have to go back and play Persona 3. You what? Look, you guys know this. I haven't had my main Persona games that I'm very familiar with are 4 and 5. I'm very familiar with 5 because I played 5, but I'm very familiar with 4 because of internet. But I need to play it. Anyway, so that was their inspiration. And then other inspirations were Jailbird's impressions of the song. So they were still making the MV as the song came out, heavily in the production. So they were able to see your impressions before they had actually finished the video, meaning they could kind of go and kind of use a little bit of your guys' perspective as well. And Hatsune Miku, but specifically the relation between Vocaloid and producer, which I think is really smart as well, because I think most people don't necessarily project themselves onto Miku, but at the same time they do. It's hard to explain. So I feel like using that for with Nerissa and the anima was really awesome. As well as idols, artists/creators, and social media. And again, these are all very, very clear throughout the music video as a whole. And you can see here are the early character designs. Obviously, you can see what one I picked, but the goal was to kind of have it not stick out, you know, too much. This is meant to be me, like the real me. So the me in the real world, you know. So it was supposed to be more understated. And I loved all of them, but I felt like the first 3 designs were actually a bit too flashy for me in a way. So I really gravitated towards the last 2 on the far right, where they really have this feeling of, because of the coat swallowing them, I really liked that specific imagery. Because I don't know how to describe it. But it just feels right that when you're feeling a bit depressed and sad, that you're probably putting on a comfy, oversized jacket and just chilling. You know? Just chilling. But all of the outfits were fantastic. And then, as you can see, the part of me that goes unseen, which is, again, this is supposed to represent the real me. So, we wanted it to be very much more, you know? And then moving on, these are the early concept designs for the, we call her the creation, but now we've decided that they are technically called the anima, but this is Nerissa's anima, her creation. The other self, an ideal, a dream, hope, inspiration, or music given form. At this stage, we imagined her taking on the form that others project onto her. So you can see there's kind of the one on the far left that looks kind of more, she's so hot. Anyway, that's beside the point. She has her wings and her hair is super duper flowy. Honestly, I can't tell if that maybe she has 2 sets of wings. And some of them are more kind of demonic on the top. I can't tell. But then you have Oyomeholic twice. Then you have 2 who showed up in the video themselves, design-wise. So you think that's her hair? It could be. But it could be kind of eternal sugar cookie coated and she has 2 wings. Maybe. I'm just saying. None of the other Nerissas have flowy hair like that. I'm just saying. I don't know. We'll have to ask Yuna. But yeah, as you can tell, the far right ones made it into the video. But the anima also changed appearance quite a few times. So she didn't really have a set look in the same way that Nerissa did. So, regarding the storyboard, for this MV, we didn't create a very detailed storyboard at the beginning. They say that, but to me it was very detailed. So, we had a general concept in mind, but we needed to get it approved before moving forward. At that stage, there were still many things we hadn't decided yet. The original storyboard only included a few rough sketches with the lyrics written on the side, short explanations of what each scene represented, and image references from other media to show the mood or direction we wanted. As production continued, many things changed. Some scenes were revised, some scenes were added, and the message we wanted to portray evolved, and the ending changed at least 5 times. So, well, there it is. The ending changed 5 times from the storyboard. So these were the sketches from the storyboard itself. As you can see, there's kind of the opening shot, and then there's the walking, which was going to be the walking loop. And they just had this flat picture, so I sent more of a reference of like, this is how I want her to be walking. This is more of a clear reference of what exactly I want. And then it goes straight to the chorus with the people walking by. So it was going to be much shorter. Not shorter, but like much less illustrations, but Yuna and Miu, they always go hard. Then you can kind of see the bridge, and then Nerissa holding her hand out to the creation. Oh, that's all. I swear there was at least one more picture, but maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, so these are the sketches from the storyboard, and then we move on. These are the polished concepts, and I posted about this very recently on my Twitter. Actually, Yuna and Miu were so kind as to make these slides explaining the anima, and I'll read them to you here. She is always smiling, singing as she shines, always by her creator's side. Her existence is sustained by the light given to her by her creator. Others can only see her through screens. Hatred and being forgotten cause her form to fade. The more light she receives from the creator, the more her form changes, and the more her form evolves. The more light she needs and the more her form evolves, the more light she needs to continue existing. So it's, always having to give and put more of yourself into something, And the second, those who have found a dream, an ideal, a passion, or a reason to keep living have an anima by their side. The anima is a being formed from that feeling. It may appear as your ideal self, someone you love, someone you admire, a partner who brings you comfort, or a partner who brings you comfort. It is a part of you, visible only to you unless you choose to show it to the world. So you can see here, everyone's got their own kind of reference that could be someone they admire, like with the guitarist, maybe that's a famous singer who he admires, and so it represents how his inspiration. Or the writer is very cute. She has a cute little fairy that's writing as well. One moment. Give me 1 second. Wow. Okay. So, we made a hashtag. So if you'd like to make your own for whatever reason and kind of involve yourself a little bit, feel free. You are more than welcome to show me your anima. Show me what's your color, what's inside of you. Let me see. And then story concept. The MV is about very personal feelings. We introduce the word anima as an invitation for each viewer to enter the world of the MV more personally through their own version of anima. The concept and characters in the story exist to help express complex emotions. The story can be seen either as a fantasy world or as a real world, or as a real story told through symbolism and metaphors. There is no single correct interpretation. What matters most is that the feelings come through and that each person can connect with them in their own way. So, there's still more slides. We're not done. At its core, we believe this is a story about depression and loneliness and about pursuing something you love more than anything, even when it becomes painful or frightening to face directly sometimes. It is about something that has always been close to you, something that will always remain there, and something you cannot give up no matter how much suffering, happiness, or sacrifice it brings. It is also a story about lingering hope and inspiration. We may never fully understand what the person behind the creation is going through, whether they find salvation or not, but we believe that what they create can still have the power to save someone else. And then about the ending. We struggled a lot to find an ending that felt truly satisfying. As we became more deeply immersed in the emotions of the song, we were able to come up with the additional scenes that felt more fitting. However, the ending we had imagined for the storyboard remained unfinished for a long time. The idea itself worked, but we still couldn't fully feel satisfied with it. The ending felt like it lacked both despair and hope. No matter how much we thought about it, we felt that we couldn't directly save the protagonist, Nerissa. We didn't think that would be an honest expression of what the song is about. But at the same time, we also felt that there was definitely salvation within the song that led us to the question, where does that salvation exist? When Blue World was released on music streaming services, we read as many comments and impressions about the song as we could. We learned that many people related to the lyrics, felt comfortable, felt healed, and even felt saved by the song. That was when the idea for the ending that felt right for the MV came to us. The ending became uncertain for the protagonist herself. We do not clearly show whether she is saved or not. Instead, the ending is shaped by the people who receive the song. We wanted each viewer to be able to interpret it differently depending on what they need or want to see. What we wanted to put into the final scene was something like a prayer, that someone might find this song when they truly need it and feel even a small light of hope. And as you can see, Yuna and Miu created little album covers for all of my original songs, except Shatter, but only because Shatter doesn't have a visual, it doesn't have a music video. And now it feels too late to release one at this point, you know? Anyway, so you can see Say My Name, In My Feelings, Sweet as Scarlet, Oh You're My Holic, and Blue World, 5 of my 6 original songs. Please keep streaming them all on streaming services. And then they found some questions from fans and answered them. And so, question, was it an intentional reference, Bella's depression, new moon, or just a lucky coincidence? And if yes, whose idea was it? Would love to hear where the ideas from every single shot came from. TBH, they're all beautiful and powerful. The answer is, it was Nerissa's idea. We would love to go more deep into the ideas and composition behind each shot, but it would be too many slides. Next question. The swing scene with the young Nerissa, did you take inspiration from Naruto on it? Was it a request from Nerissa or something you did without prompting because Nerissa's a fan of Naruto? Then it was inspired by that time she talked about it on stream. We thought it was a fitting way to convey the feeling of alone. See, I think this is funny because for me, I didn't even clock that it was a Naruto reference. Which sounds so funny to say because you think I would. But I didn't clock it. How did I not manage to clock that this is a Naruto reference? How did I not manage that? Everyone's sitting there and like immediately everyone I see is being like, it's a Naruto reference. It's Naruto reference. All right, that's it. There's too many spammers. If you're going to spam, you have to at least subscribe. No more talking in chat unless you're subscribed. Anyway, continuing. Continuing. Stop distracting me. Okay. So, what was your personal favorite shot of the MV? And then Miu's answer was, because I like women who don't give up even when they're in pain and suffering, it is the shot on the left where Nerissa is pulling... you can see she is pulling the light from her own chest to give it to her anima, which is always depicted as being quite a bit painful, and that is very much on purpose. So it's not supposed to. You're not necessarily supposed to need to have to do that. And then Yuna, it has the scene from the bridge with the anima and Nerissa running together. And it says, because I like the feeling of happiness and hope of those who have found a dream. And obviously this scene is very special in the MV in general. We see lore. We get lore of Nerissa. We see before she became a sound demon. We see her when she was just a little demon girl, and she starts to sing for the first time, and she's enjoying herself. And as her song is coming out, we see her horns sprout from her head. And at that moment, born from that passion is her anima, and the anima is really the representation of that passion, you know. So not only has she found something she loves, you know, but she has also found her passion, you know, born in that moment. And we have 2 more slides left. Once again, thank you so much for enjoying the MV. We hope you'll continue watching and listening to Nerissa's Blue World. Depending on how you're feeling at the time, you might experience it differently each time. May this MV light a small spark within you. And then, this last slide is the credits. Vocals and lyrics were, of course, by me, and the composition and arrangement was by the incredible Shoji Meguro. The bass was by Ryuichi Hagi. The strings were by Hitoshi Kono Strings. Timing and tuning was done by my girl, Miori Celesta. She's so sweet. We love working with her. She's so amazing at handling my vocals as well and doing just what's necessary and not overdoing it at all. And then the mix was done by Biango, who has done a lot of my original stuff. You're probably used to seeing that name by now as well. And then the art and video was by Yunarun and Miu. So I couldn't be more grateful to everyone on this list who contributed to Blue World and helped make it what it is and helped bring it to life. And, even though it's quite a sad song, I'm so grateful to everyone here because the song wouldn't be able to exist without a single one of them. So thank you to everyone. Thank you so much, Shoji Meguro-san. It meant so much to be able to work together with you on this song as well. I'm just pleased as a peach. So thank you all so much for your contribution to my music video. my song. My very emotional song. So, yeah. I was really excited for the bridge once I saw it. Because I was like, it was one of the most fleshed out scenes in the storyboard. And I immediately, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And I started giving Yuna and Miu lore, Nerissa lore. So I think originally she just had her horns, period. And it's not like I don't think they grew. Wait, let me double check. I can't double check. I'd have to go too far back. I can't find that. But anyway, sorry. So originally though, I don't think she had in the video, in the original draft storyboard, she just had the full horns. And I was like, actually, did you know the Nerissa's lore is, or my lore rather, what happened is that when demons are children, it's kind of like a cutie mark is how I always compare it, where they don't really have fully developed horns. They just kind of have like very, very small little stubby horns that don't really have any decoration or light coming out of them because they haven't found their purpose yet. And then once they mature and find their purpose, and it is clear what their purpose is, then their horns magically kind of sprout out of their head and transform into what they'll be for the rest of their life unless they're broken. So I still have some questions for Yuna. So Yuna is not here, I don't think. But Yuna, you're gonna have to answer on Twitter for me. I'm curious. I noticed at the end of the MV, there's a point where the anima has her full horns, even though Nerissa does not. And I want you to give me the rundown. I want the story. Give it to me. Give it to me. So Nerissa's an alicorn confirmed? I mean, kind of. I do have 2 horns and wings. So if I was a pony in the My Little Pony universe, I would be an alicorn. Because I have to have my wings, but I'm not a Pegasus because I'm a magic caster as well. So I have to have a horn, but I can't not have my wings. So, yes, the question no one asked today is, Nerissa Ravencroft is indeed an alicorn. Who's gonna make the Nerissa Ravencroft pony? Good luck. Good luck. G-Mooney! welcome, Grums. We're talking about the creation of Blue World, and we're also only 70 subscribers away from our next subscriber goal of 986,000 subscribers. So please do subscribe if you're not already. Also, sorry we're getting spam, so we're in subscriber only mode, so if you can't type, I apologize. But please consider subscribing if you're not already, helping us reach our subscriber goal. We're just talking about My Little Pony, and I promise you it was relevant. I'm sorry you missed all the fun stuff. We just finished going over Yuna's really amazing slideshow that she made us, and we've already finished talking about everything. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god, Doshio. What am I gonna do? We just got raided and I don't have anything to talk about. Is there anything else? I guess any questions that you guys have regarding Blue World. You have to send a super chat though, because I'm not gonna be able to catch it if it's in chat. So like, send like a $5 super chat and above if you have a question. Read the slides again? No, there's 18 of them. You know what I can do though? I'll wait for people to ask questions. What I can do is I'm gonna put this on automatic, and I can put it here. Not really gonna be able to read it though, because it's gonna be too small, but if you talked about the vocal recording, I missed it. Oh my god, the vocal recording. Okay, wait, sorry. Yes, we do have one more story to talk about. So, Blue World was really difficult for me to record because it's a really hard song for me to sing because it's really emotional. So the very first time, or when we went in to record it, I actually was getting directed by Shoji Meguro-san. So I got to meet him in person, and that was crazy. And he was so funny. He was so sweet too. Every time we'd record something, well, I remember first he glazed me, and I was like, I am unworthy, don't glaze me. We're talking, and he was like, honestly, I don't see why we need to record it. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, the vocals that you sent that I used for the demo were already perfect. So, remember the vocals I was talking about that I recorded in one take and just sent for the lyrics? Just to be used only for the lyric reference to show how the lyrics flow? Yeah. So, he was so kind, and I was immediately like, no way. The Shoji Meguro just said that to me. He was just like, you nailed it the first try. And I was like, you are so kind. But I was not satisfied, so I absolutely must do it again. So then we went through, and the recording process is usually as follows. Usually when recording a new song, we do a practice run through just to warm up, as well as to check, and then we go into the actual recording process. So I like to record in as big of chunks as possible. So I usually like to do, as long as there's no overlapping, a whole verses at a time. And sometimes I'll do the verse and the pre-chorus in one go. And then the chorus in one take as well. I like to try and keep it as consistent, because otherwise then I feel like, am I really singing the song if I have to break it up and do like 50 different takes of every single line, you know? Like, it's just, one, it's a lot of work, but also I feel like so much of my performance would be lost if I was cutting it up that much. So just personally for me, everyone's different. There's no wrong way to do vocal recording for the studio version, but just for me personally, I like to keep it as consistently all recorded all in one as I can for each stanza, or not for each stanza, but for each, again, verse, pre-chorus, sometimes together, depending on how long the pre-chorus is, and then whole chorus, whole bridge, stuff like that. So I take it in big chunks. So, then we got to recording, and I'll be honest, the most terrible thing was when I'm having a vocal session with legendary composer Shoji Meguro, and I am having a bad vocal day. I woke up and my voice was not feeling it. I warmed up and my voice still was not feeling it. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot reschedule. I cannot reschedule this. So, because it's not just my time on the line at that point, it's also Shoji Meguro's time, and I cannot waste anyone's time. So I was like, well, I have got to go in. Yeah, you can't just send Shoji Meguro home. You can't just do that. What am I supposed to do? Sorry, Shoji Meguro-san. I can't record today because my voice isn't feeling it. We'll reschedule. You can't do that. You say, fuck it, we ball. So, yeah, exactly. He took time out of his day to come here and direct me. And you're telling me that I can't sing well today? Are you joking? This is a joke. So, anyway, so I went in, we talked for a bit, and one of the questions I asked him later, so we're just chatting whenever we're taking a break, and every time it like, I think I look over at Mane-chan once, and I was like, is this real? Because I was like, it's so chill. You know, I think, you know, I'm a minor internet celebrity, so I experience it sometime, but like, it's really crazy to be in a room with someone you really admire and be like, whoa, they're so chill and down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it was like. That's what it was like. I was like, you are freaking Shoji Meguro, and he's just so chill. Like, I would like sing, and then like he'd be like, I think that was great. And that I ended up, I'm super picky with myself, so I kept being like, no, I'm gonna do it again. But he was so chill and he was so kind, and he was like, you sound wonderful. Maybe if you did a little more of this. Oh, but it all sounds so good. And then we actually had 2 different ways that we did the bridge. Where we, at first, I did it very like head voice, so like, no, my heart is torn and my weary wings are worn just tonight. Can I dream of a better life with happiness in sight? Like, very pretty. And then, but admittedly, I felt burdened by expectation. I was like, you know, I think jailbirds won't like it unless I'm belting it. So I belted it, and Shoji Meguro was so sweet. He was like, I really like the soft one. They're both really good, but I guess I was imagining it more soft. But I love both of them. And I was like, it's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, she's so sweet. But how it ended up turning out is, so when we got the first mix, this is the only thing I hate about when I record in the studio is sometimes I feel like you can't really tell 100% because they put like some processing on just in the studio itself. Like, obviously they send the vocals raw, but so when I ask them to like play back the recording, I'm not actually hearing my authentic performance because it's quite different. There's already like reverb, it's already like perfectly like adjusted, you know, because it's got like, again, like filters on it that like I'm not hearing the raw vocal like how I would at home. So sometimes when I hear the recording in studio, it sounds way better than what my raw vocals would sound like to me if I'm listening to it at home. So I was listening to it and I was like, yeah, no, I think it sounds good. But then when I got the first mix back, I was like, oh, my vocals are a bit rough actually. So I was like, okay. I contacted my manager, and I was like, I am going to re-record the song, and I was like, the song means so much to me. I need it to be really good, and I feel bad because Shoji Meguro-san put in so much effort to come in, but I was like, my voice honestly wasn't on, I wasn't on, you know? And I was like, I really need to do it again for me, or I'm not going to ever be satisfied, and this song means so much to me. I want it to be the absolute best it can be. And so at first I just said, don't worry, I'm just going to record it at home. And then I was told I can't record it at home. I have to record it in the studio. And I was like, okay. But I could just record it at home and then it would be done quicker. They're like, nope, it's got to be in studio. But they agreed to basically make it so only whoever needed to be there had to be there. So it was pretty much just me, my manager, the audio engineer, and our covers music director. So it is a silly rule. I understand the rule, but it's silly. But so I went in and I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. I'll do it then. And thankfully, at the second session, they made me re-record the whole song, which there was only some parts I wanted to pick up, but it was whatever. I was like, you know, that's better because, you know, sometimes it was just like a part of a line that I wasn't satisfied with. So I was like, well, I can just do a pickup, but since they were like, you have to do it all again. Anyway, I was like, okay. So I recorded the whole song again. And then I was much more satisfied with it. I kept making them. I was like, you have to turn on all the effects and stuff so I can like really listen to it. And I was being very picky. So I was glad in a way that Shoji Meguro-san was not at the second session because I already felt like I was too picky at the first one, but now I could be like really, really perfectionist and like not feel like I'm wasting his time. By being like, no, I need to hear it again, you know. Very picky. I'm always very picky. I'm the devilish diva after all. But so then after I was satisfied with it, I sent it over to Miori. She timed and tuned it, and then we sent it over to Biango, and he mixed it, and it was fantastic. So that's how the recording process went. It was stressful. It was really stressful for me. Did Meguro-san mention if he'd listened to your other songs? I think he had listened to a few as research. He was so kind to me the whole time. He's like, your voice is so nice. Your voice is so nice. He's so sweet. Let's see. Thank you for your wonderful work. I'm deeply moved. Just saw Hitoshi Kono strings in the credits. So excited. They've done amazing anime, especially with Yuki Kajiura and games. So glad you worked with them. I know, me too. All the people I worked with, again, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have worked with everyone. I know you asked Miu and Yuna for their favorite shots from the MV, but did you say if you had one? I don't think I can pick. I think the movie theater scene is one of my favorites, probably, but there's so many. Like, the whole bridge is part of my favorite. Like, especially when little Nerissa, when it does a close-up on her face and she starts singing. That's also one of my favorites. It's just great. And then Yuna also did just send me a DM answering the question I asked. So at the end, when the anima has two horns, it's because she absorbed too much light from her creator, plus desires from others for the anima to be a perfect being, and her appearance became more distant from the original. So that is the deep lore behind why the anima seem to evolve, be overly evolved at the end. So deep. I love it. Okay, more questions. More questions, please, if you have any. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We're 50 subscribers away from the next 1,000. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Is there a reason for the changing thumbnails? Are you rotating them? The So I checked the analytics, and the analytics for everything are really good except getting people to click on the video for some reason. So I've been trying out other thumbnails to see what one everybody likes best. But all of them just do perform the same. Everything just performs the same, so I'm having a hard time. Yeah, watch Blue World. Please stream it. It's getting pretty close to 200k views on the music video, so do check it out if you haven't already. The link is pinned in the chat. When you completed the song, did you gain any inspiration for what you want to make next, or just rest for now? Any thoughts on a companion piece? I don't think there will be a companion piece for Blue World. I don't think my depression really has a companion. Sadly. There's no cure for it, you know? So I don't really think there could be a companion. But I am working on a lot of stuff. As you guys know, I've been busy. I'm booked and busy, you guys. Misery does love company, and company loves more. More loves everybody else. Yeah. Anyway. But I am working on a lot of stuff. I have not been chilling this whole year. We're 5 months now into the year. I have not chilled a single one of them. Mayuzumi said, I don't have a question because I'm crying a bit too hard, but I wanted to say thank you. It will continue to be a very special song to me, and will love and cherish it deeply. Thank you. I'm glad it could mean a lot to you. It means a lot to me. So then Luna asked the same question. Someone already asked about my favorite shot from the MV. When Little Risa was being added, was anything from the cell thought of being added as well? No, because Little Risa was never in the cell necessarily. So we never considered adding points of the cell. I wanted it to have more of a feeling of realism, I think. So I wanted to avoid stuff that was too potentially unrelatable. I feel like we can all relate to being a child and like having big dreams and having big hopes and so on and so forth, but I feel like being locked away for 9,000 years isn't very relatable. Rich Domings, I personally struggle with harmonies with tight/closer intervals, especially with minor keys. How do you do it so damn well? I don't know. I listen to them on repeat, so I never come into any session knowing the harmonies to anything. Ever. I say, okay, now you're going to play the harmonies for me on a loop, and then I will sing it. And that's it. What made you want to make such a personal song? Did you want people to feel the Headspace Shaz feelings? Was it something you just needed to say? I can write 2 types of song. Love songs and songs about my feelings. So if it's not about those 2 things, I struggle because, you know, I work a lot. I don't really leave. I don't have any hobbies really outside of work. That many. So like I can just only write about things I've experienced, you know? So I write about all the love I've got in my heart, or I write about all the sadness I have in my head, you know? I don't think it's something I needed to say. If anything, I think it's a bit embarrassing to share such personal feelings. It's you know, it's one of those things where it's like, maybe I should have left this in the drafts and written a different pair of lyrics, but I was like, you know, it's honest, and I think maybe there might be able to be people who can relate to these feelings. I don't know if it was asked yet, but have your parents mentioned their thoughts on the song? No. They said they loved it. They said they loved it, and that's that. They loved it. That's it. That's what's important. My parents, they saw it, they loved it. I'm sure if you ask my mom, she might be watching. I'm sure. Mom, are you here? If you are, send me a text telling me your thoughts on Blue World. The people want to know. The people want to know what The people want to know. We'll see. My phone's probably not gonna light up. Regarding the end of the MV as well, the person listening to music is, of course, you guys. It's my hope that as you listen to the song, to my song, to anything that I make, that it's able to ignite something in you. Hence why it's ambiguous who said person is, because it is supposed to represent you. As Yuna said, they had a hard time figuring out what the ending of the MV was going to be until the song came out, and then they saw all of your reactions saying how it meant something to you, how it was able to kind of seeing your guys' perspectives. That's the message they ended up wanting to tell at the end. So yeah, it did end up being perfect. Again, I really loved it. So I'm so blessed to be able to have created this song and gotten to work with the people that I did and gotten to release it to my lovely audience, you guys. Ragnarok, thank you for the super. Now that you've met Meguro-san and Lotus, do you feel confident to maybe do a duet with Linny? You should. The Masters No Diamonds. Oh god. She's a much better singer than I will probably ever be. She's incredible. I don't think I would love to. That I would love to. Like, that would be like crazy. She's a crazy incredible vocalist. Insane. That would be insane. I don't know. I haven't met her though. I don't know, but that'd be awesome. That'd be incredible. I still probably need to sing with Lotus Juice at some point, because we just got to do an interview with him and Callie. I worked with Meguro-san. Maybe we should just go and work with all the Persona. Hey, you've worked on music for Persona? Let's make a song together. Then Koval, thank you for the super. How did you all go about deciding on the lyrics and instrumentals? Seemed like the colors and somber strings were a big part of it. I'm sorry, you must have come in late. I've already talked about that very much in depth, so I'll recommend watching the VOD, because that's a very loaded question. I don't think I can describe again in depth. Morkel, not quite a companion piece, but I imagine Nerissa singing Blue World while the anima sings Oyomeholic, if that makes sense. Thank you for a beautiful song that hits right home whenever I listen to it, and even more when I watch the MV. That's interesting. Technically, by the logic of Blue World, all of Nerissa's songs would be done by the anima. Because, and even streams technically, because it's the you the world sees, you know, in the sense of Nerissa. So it's the you the world sees, and the gray Nerissa is the you that goes unseen. So Mac, thank you very much for the super. Thank you, Risa, for making such a great song. It hit me in my feels. Haha, pun. You said in my feelings, but I read it wrong. More than most songs I typically hear in my daily life. Blue women love. We do love blue women in this household. We love blue women. We love blue songs. I love blue. We love the color blue. Anyway, any more questions? There's one. There's two. Caliber, thank you for the super. Sorry for not having a question. Still in awe and processing. I just wanted to say thank you for sharing this song with all of us and giving your fan base a way to express / involve ourselves into it via the concept of the anima. Yeah, I'm looking forward to if any of you do decide to draw something. Me and Yuna are looking forward to it. Can we see some Nerissa X anima fan art? Legsy, that's gonna be on you. That's up to you to make. Come on, Legsy. You're the artist here. Where's your Nerissa X anima fan art? And then the great Billy Mays, late arrival. It makes sense that we were the person in the ending, since your song ignited a spark in our hearts. I'm curious if you had an underlying message that you wanted to deliver to us jailbirds. Not really. I think for the song in general, I think it's very, very personal. But I think if there's even one person who can feel a bit seen by listening to it, I think that's really wonderful and makes it worth having released it. Because, I mean, I think we're all in situations like that where we feel like we're not really seen, you know? We feel really invisible. So, I think I didn't really have a message, but I hoped that someone somewhere out there might be able to relate to the things that I was feeling and the message I was telling with the song. So, Crispy K, thank you for the super. Not a question, but I just wanted to say you inspired me to branch out and try new things, and I have my first piano lesson tomorrow. Good luck! I hope you school it. And G Harden, no questions, just a pure appreciation. Thank you for sharing your inspirations and aspirations with us. Thank you for helping support me so I can continue to live my dream of living life and creating art that I am passionate about, and that means a lot to me. I could not do all of this without you guys, my beloved jailbirds, so I'm eternally grateful to you guys for listening to my silly little songs, my sad little songs, and enjoying them and streaming them. It means a lot to me. And it's thanks to you guys that I can continue to chase my dreams and even release a song like this. With Shoji Meguro as the composer. Insane. Hey, Raphael, thank you for the super. Guys, you have to ask questions. Makai Rider, thank you for the super. Where's your question? Don't you guys have questions? You don't have any questions for me? Did I answer them all pretty thoroughly? I answered them so thoroughly, you don't have any questions to ask me. Shoji Meguro is only the beginning. Yes, I hope I can work with many more producers and stuff that I really admire. I have a lot I really admire and really want to work with, so. Minachi, thank you for the super. Thank you for sharing something so personal with us. Did you know you were going to work with Shoji Meguro ahead of time? And did you decide now is the time for this song? As I mentioned, I asked him to work with him before any ideas for the song were made, and then I only wrote the lyrics once I got the song from him. So it's very much his direction in a lot of ways. Dark Quill, thank you for the super. At the end of the song, after the pair are falling, the world turns blue and gains a little bit of color. Was that your input? Yes, so the intention was at the end that the world should have a little bit of color added back to it. Not a lot. I didn't want it to suddenly get colorful because I was like, that's unrealistic. You know, when you're depressed, the world doesn't suddenly, just because you want things to be better, just doesn't suddenly get better. It's still bad a lot of the time. But you just have to keep trying, you know, and persevering. So I really wanted it to not feel like things suddenly got too better. It just had to be a small spark. So yes, that was partially my input. And then Sir Bills, thank you very much for the Aka Supa. Thank you for the amazing song. When you write these amazing emotional songs, can you keep pulling from these deep thoughts and emotions of yours? I know it's personal for you, but it really resonates with me. When I write my own lyrics for emotional pieces, I will always only be able to. I want to be able to, one thing I really want to be able to do is to write, I'm going to say this and it's going to sound mean, but I mean it lovingly. I want to be able to write shitty anime song lyrics. Like, you know when you, like, read an anime song and you look at the lyrics and you're like, what the hell is this song trying to say? I don't understand at all. I want to be able to write lyrics like that. It's just a goal of mine. I don't know why, but I'm only really good at writing lyrics that are deeply personal and emotional or about love in some way. So I'll always do my best. I can't really think of a question, but I wanted to say how much Blue World means to me and a lot of other jailbirds. Thank you, Risa. Thank you, Highest Raven. And Rayo said, do you know how awesome you are? Thank you. I'm not so awesome, though. I'm just a gal doing my best. And then Ace Mugat, said, I got a question. What is the hardest line for you to write in the song? I don't know so much about there being like a hardest line to write. I don't really have one. I feel like all of it was pretty hard. I feel like I wrote them pretty fast. I want to say over the course of 1 to 2 days, maybe. So it really wasn't too bad. I just kind of wrote about my feelings and it worked. Calabaza, thank you for the super. I do have a question. After making, singing, releasing, and seeing the MV release, do you feel a cathartic satisfaction? Thank you for sharing all this with us. Jailbirds truly appreciate it. That's a really hard question. I don't know if I can give you a satisfying answer, because it's a bit cathartic in the sense that the song is out. The fact that the song is out is cathartic in and of itself. But do I feel a cathartic release? No, not really. Like again, from the release, absolutely yes. I feel very cathartic. But the song being out doesn't really. I need to go to Hollizer. You guys are too freaking fast. I can't keep up with these supers. I can't keep up. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, here. Okay. But yeah, I guess it's not like feelings are out just because the song is out. Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's the perfect way to put it. Just because the song is out doesn't mean I suddenly feel better in certain ways, you know? Like, I'm glad that I can finally share the song with you guys and the message I was trying to tell, but like, yeah, I'm glad there's a sigh of relief that it is done. Okay, let's see, where did I end off? Okay, Ethan JBU, thank you for the super. At a part in the MV, it seems like the anima is calling real Nerissa her shadow. Was this intentional? No, so not necessarily in the MV. Nerissa is, the anima is her shadow, not the other way around. So it wasn't meant to be that way in the MV if it came off that way. Jean-Paul, thank you for the super. Did the song named Blue World have any relation to the tarot meaning since it had some inspiration in Persona? No, it did not, actually. It's just because I really wanted to have a song that had blue in the title as well, and I was like, what's blue? Blue daba dee daba die, the daba dee daba die, daba dee daba die. And I was like, well, my world is pretty blue, so I'll write about that. Wonder Pangu, thank you very much for the super. Have you learned Blue World on the lyre? I think it would sound so lovely. I have not. I've been so busy, I haven't had time to practice my lyre, but it's always right next to me. Olzy? Thank you very much for the super. Blue World, I think you meant, has become one of my favorite songs. Life has been crazy for me. This song has helped me change my perspective to push forward. Same with Hatama Infinity. Can you talk about singing it with a live band? So singing it on Callie's stream. 69! Sorry, quick, 69! Woo! 69! Let's go! I'm so sorry. Nice! 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 Okay, anyway, sorry. Singing it with a live band was really crazy because the whole time, for every other song, you know, we're still sitting there while everyone else is performing for Callie's live, right? So we're watching everyone, and then we're just kind of running on when it's our turn. So the whole time I'm watching the band just rock out, and they were so amazing. It was so incredible, okay, just to watch them work, because I was like, they're crazy. They're going hard. It was amazing. But I was a bit remiss that I couldn't watch them during my own song. I really wanted to watch them play Blue World. But yeah, they're super duper amazing, and it's crazy. It's crazy to be able to sing it with a live band. Cypher, thank you for the supa. Thank you for all the hard work you put in for us. It's been on repeat all day. My question is, why are you so blue and amazing? We love blue women. I was born this way. Apologies. Can't help it that I'm so blue. PK Fire, thank you very much for the supa. Do you ever get whiplash going from Blue World to any of your other songs? Not yet. If I'm listening to Blue World, I'm pretty much only listening to Blue World. I feel like I could listen to In My Feelings and it consecutively, but I couldn't. I don't know if I could do like, oh, Yo My Holic and then Blue World. That might be a bit much for me emotionally. Dearest, thank you for the super. Just appreciation super. Blue World has been on replay on my night drives. I really appreciate the chorus and it's relatable watching the days pass in front of me. Kamba, Risa, we're cheering for you. Thank you. Rich Dommings, the song hits pretty hard emotionally. How does it make you feel knowing that your voice genuinely provides people with emotional support and comfort? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure. It's a good feeling, and I'm really glad that people can relate to, again, my song, to my singing, to the stuff that I make, you know? It's really awesome. It's really incredible. So thank you. And then Slime Maverick, thank you for the super. Cheers, Nerissa. Thanks. Davia, thank you very much for the supa. So hypothetically, you were to work with Shoji Meguro again. Would you want to make a yellow and or a red song like Blue World? What emotions would you use? I think I really do want to work with Shoji Meguro again. I don't know when or if it'll happen, but I don't want to talk about it yet because I actually have an idea. I know what I want to do if I work with Shoji Meguro-san again. So, I can't answer that question. I'm sorry. Maybe if it wasn't a possibility and a potential, but I want to, and I already have an idea, so I can't tell you in case, or else then it won't happen, you know. Luna02, thank you for the supa. You mentioned you feel like it's not a concert song. When you were writing it, did that play a part in how you wrote it, or did that feeling come after? Love the song, like many others. It really resonates with me deeply. Ballads, I feel like, just aren't very popular for concerts, period. Generally, like, it's just how it is. Like, let's be real, if you are having a concert, what songs do people enjoy more? Like the auto songs, the canta, you know, by Hajime, you know, like, people really love those really hype songs. And when it comes to a ballad, it's not that people don't like them, people do like them. However, yeah, it ends up being more of a, you know. Yeah, that's usually when a lot of people tend to lose a little bit of interest. I personally feel. Not that it's bad, I really like it, but I feel like unless people really, really like the song, like, I think if Blue World performs really, really, really well, then I might reconsider. But I just don't feel like Blue World is a good concert song because it's so hard for me to sing, and it's such a sad song. I feel like for a concert that's supposed to be like fun, a fun, great experience, I just feel like it's such a downer, you know? You know what I'm saying? Again, it's an amazing song, obviously, but I just feel like unless I had like a solo concert, there's not really a good reason to perform it. Because, like, it's not really a good fest song. It's not really a good Ian Live song, you know? Like, so it's like, unless I had like a solo live or something, I don't think there's like a good place to perform Blue World. Maybe I'll find it someday, but downers can be good if planned right. I agree with that. Alright, moving on. Cobalt Contester. You talked about your inputs on the MV and lyrics. Did Meguro-san or the others have a specific scene or parts they added or were personally proud of? No. So, pretty much Meguro-san just worked on the song. And I forgot to mention this, so thank you for bringing this up. I'd asked him when we were recording the song, I was like, so what do you think of the lyrics? Do you like them? And he was like, yeah. And then I felt a bit cheeky and I was like, do you understand them? Because we didn't provide him with a Japanese translation. And he was like, not fully, because he doesn't speak English, but he was like, but I do I do understand like some of the things being said, and it seems like a very sad song. And so he seemed like he liked it a lot. But so when it came to the MV, I'd be very curious to hear if Meguro-san has any parts of the MV that he really liked, because I think his first experience seeing it would be when it debuted. I don't know if the company sent it to him to see before it released, but wouldn't that have been nice? All right, next, the great Billy Mays. With the idea of a colorful ending in mind, was there an idea considered too small to add small spurts of color in the middle of the MV to show points of reference for the good times, only to return back to the blue theme? No, the only place there was ever going to be color was in the end of the song. I did not want there to be any color anywhere else. I was very much, I wanted it to be grayscale and Nerissa, and then blue world. Caliver Guardia, thank you for the super. Okay, I'll do my best to ask a question. You mentioned how the weight of expectation altered how you ended up singing part of Blue World. Has this also happened with your other Ori songs? This happens with every single song I release. There's always the expectation of how Nerissa is supposed to sing. And, you know, I'm classically trained, so my actual singing ability when it comes to belting is actually very, very minimal and very, very low. I cannot belt very well at all, but no one believes me when I say that because I can make it happen, but I'm not good at it. But everyone likes how it sounds, so everyone writes songs, not for my personal stuff, but like group songs and stuff too. I'm always written in this part where they want me to belt really, really high, and I can't really do it very well. And again, no one believes me because I can make it happen, but it hurts a lot. So it's not fun for me sometimes. But I feel like I have to. Yeah, like Genesis. Genesis, I actually did the opposite because I didn't belt the ad-lib that it's a Genesis. That's head voice. And I felt really bad. Or like the like I was like, it would sound so much better. And everyone would be like, whoa, it's so much more hype if it's belted. But I didn't belt it. And so I felt really disappointed in myself, but it was just too high. Even Rebellion's really high for me. That performing Rebellion sometimes makes me a little like, oh my god, I don't want to. It's too high. I don't know if I ever talked about this, but originally Rebellion I think was 1 or 2 steps lower, but then the verse was too low, so we had to heighten it. They're like, it's okay, you can sing the chorus even though it's higher, right? And I was like, no. But I'll do my best. I'll fake it till I make it, I guess. So anyways, my point is, yes, I've very much often felt the need to very much push into a place singing that might not necessarily be comfortable for me due to the expectations I know people have for me. That's just how it is when you're a creative. You know, you do stuff for yourself, but you also, you know, especially in my situation, you know, you see how so many people perceive and think of you, and I don't think anyone is meant to see how that many people, I mean, you see it all the time. If like people make like a post they don't expect to go viral and then like a ton of people react to it, like it's really hard for them to process it. Think about it. For me, that's like almost everything I post. So I'm constantly having to deal with having so many eyes on me that humans were never intended to have on them at all times. So it kind of rewires your brain, and it's a lot of pressure. So it's hard to describe though. Anyways, moving on. Will you release any more high-resolution stills from the MV or concepts, even if it's only for members? I would love a new high-res home screen. I'm going to, but my plan was to release more at each 100K mark of the music video. So I would recommend streaming Blue World some more, and then I will give you some more. And then I'll give you some more Screens. I'll give you some more stills. I have a ton. I had them render out a ton. And I was like, when it hit the first 100K, I was like, oh great, I'll release them like every 100K or so. So keep streaming. Thank you for the music as always, Risa. Glad to hear you had fun with the team during recording. Have you had time to have Hot Pot being so busy? No. Naoma, thank you for the Sufa. Thank you for the music as always, Risa. Glad to hear you had fun with the team during... Or did I just read again? Am I blind? Yes. Pause, thank you for the Sufa. Hey, Risa, Blue World really resonates with my mind state right now as an artist, feeling bluer and bluer inside even as you create more and your anima shines brighter. Personally, how do you unblue yourself? You think I become unblue? You think I become unblue? If only. Everything is blue. There's no unbluing. I'm sorry. It's not a phase for me. It's a kind of story of my life, you know? And then, Peko-chan daisuki. Thank you for the supa. I love your singing in every single song, Risa. I can feel the soul you put into the music. Thank you. Eternal Echo, thank you for the supa. Blue World is just a beautiful and sad song, and you're an amazing singer. Would you go for a happy ending or still go for the sad ending for Blue World if you wish to change it? I feel like right now, it's perfectly my vision. I have no regrets. I feel like the decision to go with the sad ending was the right, perfect decision, and I have no regrets with that, so I would not change it. Pawn Walls, thank you very much for the super. I want to ask if there's any chance of the song's composition, or if there were any changes in the song's composition after you wrote your lyrics for Meguro-san. Thank you for the beautiful song release. Not really. I mean, I think the song got fuller because it was still technically being created at that point. That, like, yeah, it went from being mostly a demo to being finished. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Meguro-san changed it much. I mean, he had peak on the first demo, so why would he need to? Cal Vindicator, thank you for the supa. Do you feel like you grew as a musician / lyricist in some way from working on this amazing song? No. Working on songs doesn't necessarily make me feel like I grow as a musician. Writing the lyrics, I definitely felt I'm at a place where the lyrics feel too vulnerable. That it's not that I don't feel proud of them. I definitely do, but like I don't feel like I just feel embarrassed when I think about them in a little bit because I'm like, this is too personal. Maybe it's too personal, you know what I'm saying? Songwriting isn't a level up skill in a video game? No, sadly. Alas. So, I do feel like I learned something working on this, but not necessarily in that way, like more so about myself, if that makes sense. Mini Moon, thank you for the supa. Was there anyone you were most excited to show the song to once it was done? No one particular. I didn't really make it for anyone. I didn't have any intention for anyone specifically to hear it, I guess. I think just you guys. Most of the songs I make, how it kind of goes is the person I'm most excited to hear it is the Jailbirds, you know? I'm excited to see it and I'm excited to show my Jailbirds. I love you guys. And this will be the last one. So Claire, thank you for the supa. More love and head pats to Risa. Thanks for everything. Were the other draft endings include some happy / bright endings? I don't know. So Yuna said that there were 5 endings that they came up with. But keep in mind, I have not seen these. I only saw the one from the original storyboard. So I actually don't know what all 5 of these endings look like. I'm curious too. I'm very curious. And so I don't know. They're lost secret media. They're just hidden somewhere on Yuna's computer probably. So, but wait, I need to read the question again. Why did I close out of it already? Why did I close out of it? Come back. Oh. Were the other drafts... I don't think that there was a happy ending, though. I think I was always very clear. I don't want there to be a happy ending because I feel like it... I feel like it lessens the impact of the song. Because again, like, don't get me wrong, I think it's good to be hopeful, and I really like to be hopeful too, right? But, at the same time, yeah, it's unrealistic. Because I was like, just because you want to change things doesn't mean that things change, and things take time. Things don't change immediately. Anyway, in any sort of situation like this, so I was like, I don't want to minimize that feeling and make it seem like it can so easily be just wished away because you want to do better, and make it seem that easy, because I know firsthand it's not that easy. So yeah, I did my best, but that'll be where we'll stop things for today. I'm sure some of you still do have questions, but I hope I was able to answer all of them well enough. I really appreciate you guys. As you know, we only need 25 more subscribers. Come on, surely there's 25 of you who aren't subscribed. Please help us reach our next 1,000 goal by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video as well. And I'll look forward to reading your comments after the live stream is over. So please do also share your thoughts. Don't forget to also comment on Blue World, even if you already have. Maybe you can do like a breakdown talking about it even further. If you have a lot of thoughts on it, you know. I'd love to hear them. Or if you have your own interpretations. Because at the end of the day, it's like what Yuna kind of said in the slides that you can see on the screen. We didn't want anything to be too, like, set in stone. You can kind of imagine it in the way in which you want. So if you want it to be more, you know, if you want it to be more of a certain way, then you should make it so. You know what I'm saying? You should see it in the way that it affects you most, because that's the point of the song. It's for you to be able to relate to it in the way that it helps you most, if that makes sense. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on Blue World as well. I've told you as much as I could. So please do leave comments on this video as well as on Blue World itself. I'd love to see your guys' interpretation of the song and thoughts on the song. And yeah, there's a small chance I may stream or be featured on a stream tonight, but no promises, as I'm pretty exhausted this weekend. I know you guys are probably like, why? What have you been doing? I've been working a lot behind the scenes the last 2 weeks. And so I'm going to hang in there the best I can. So thank you guys for always cheering for me. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for streaming Blue World. And I'll keep hanging in there and doing my best. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes. I really love being able to do this for you guys and talk deeply about my songs, since a lot of them are so personal, and the amount of effort that I put into them as well with writing the lyrics. So I'm gonna go eat. I have some salmon in the fridge. As you guys know, I'm forcing myself to like salmon. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you again for all the questions that you asked. Thank you, Yuna and Mew, for creating this wonderful slideshow talking about the MV. It was so helpful since I didn't personally create the MV and wouldn't have been able to tell you much apart from what I wanted originally from it. But yes, thank you guys so much, and I will look forward. Oh, before I forget, where's my calendar? So, next week, which should be Friday for you guys, is when I'm planning. It's not finalized yet, but I'm planning on Friday night, so my usual stream time of 10 a.m. JST on Saturday, but Friday for US bros. I'm going to pick the game. So as a reminder, we are currently playing through some of my favorite games, and some of them I played, some of them I might not have played before, but I'm interested in from both N64 and GameCube era. If you are a channel member, please go to my membership tag. There's currently the poll going on. I will finalize it today. There's a pretty clear winner, but only about 1.9k people have voted. So technically, if enough of you vote, then it could go potentially to Wind Waker 2. But currently, Luigi's Mansion is winning, and after that, I will do a public poll for everyone on Twitter, and I'll also do it in my membership tab as well, but for everyone on YouTube. Voting between Kirby and the Crystal Shards, and whatever one wins the GameCube poll, and the next game that I play will be, like fully, like on the weekends will be one of those. So, please go and vote for GameCube. Currently, the choices are Luigi's Haunted Mansion, Super Mario Sunshine, and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And yeah, whatever one wins will be going against Kirby. So, I played Kirby before. I played Luigi's Haunted Mansion. I played Mario Sunshine. I haven't played Wind Waker. I played Harvest Moon 64. I played Yoshi's Story and Banjo-Kazooie. So the only game on here I haven't played is Wind Waker. And mind you, also, I do plan to play all of these games on stream eventually at some point. So even if it doesn't win this time, do know that eventually I do plan to play them. So please look forward to it. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I'll stop blabbering on and I'll let you guys go. And I'm going to raid into Faye, who is playing Tomodachi Life right now. So thank you all so much again for joining me. I had such a fantastic time, and I hope you guys did as well. And I will see you all next time. So, for now, where's what I'm looking for? Where's my end screen? One sec. Where is it? It's gone. It's seriously gone. Oh, I found it. I'm just blind. Alright, thank you so much, and bye for now, darling!